Hi everybody, happy Friday. Alright, this is a momentous video, but it's also very tedious. We're going to get into some details here about the bus manager. So essentially all the wiring for the left panel is done, more or less. And we've started adding some standard relays to the that carbon fiber standoff panel that you see. So that's going to be holding a lot of relays, you know, the seat heaters, O2 sensor, fuel pumps, car horn, stuff like that. That's all going to live up there. However, today we're working on the bus manager. So initially, the bus manager, we just put in one line, which came from our power supply to mimic the alternator. And it then also had two lines out, which were the essential and main buses. And of course a ground. Right? And that's all great, but that's not near the full amount of wires that need to come out of that bus. We also need to have two big 10 gauge wires that go out for the emergency power switch, you know, because God forbid one of the relays dies, you still need power. So there's an emergency switch I'm going to mount that will supply power in case of a failure. There's two of those, right? And also I still had never run the two battery wires in. I'd only had one, right? So this is a tiny box which is going to have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7? No, that's not right. Central bus, main bus, alternator, power. So that's 5, 6, yeah, 7. 7 10 gauge wires stuck out of it. The openings on the side of the box aren't big enough, so you just saw me with my Dremel tool there trying to get that size bigger. And here's the thing about 10 gauge wires. Those things are big. They're pretty inflexible, and when you group a bunch of them together, it's a mess. Kind of like strippers. So what we're trying to focus on here is getting all the wires out of one side of the box. Now you might ask, well, if there's openings on both sides, as you can kind of see on the far side, why not just have wires coming out of both sides? Well, it's all about workability. If anything happens in this bus manager and I have to get in there to fix it, well, there's going to be a giant skin over the area that I'm currently getting to work in right now. How am I supposed to fix that bus? Look at the bus manager there. See how it's hanging down low? As soon as I take it out of the housing where it's contained, that bus just likes to hang low. Thank you, gravity. So in the future, if I ever have to fix anything, I can just open it, or I can just take it off, have it hang down, and work on it there. Pretty simple. So, yeah, 7 10 gauge wires coming out of that. Plus, there's also a ground wire, and I've also gone ahead and just included a couple of wires off of the essential bus pole as well. I didn't want to add another bus bar for just a couple of wires, so I've added another wire, an 18 gauge wire for the fuel pumps, and I've added one for the starting mechanisms. So like the key power, any parts of the EFI system that use an active low switch, you need to have those powered by the essential bus. Why? Again, essential bus gets 12 volts all the time. All the time, right? The master bus is not guaranteed to get power. Only the essential bus is. Alright, so we're hooking up some, there you can see the relays more clearly. I believe the two that are on there, yeah, I think one of those is the fuel pumps. And I'm going to wind up mounting the emergency power switch next to it, which you'll see later. But now is the time for the momentousness. Alright, I've been talking about this for years, and it's finally here. The car horn. Look at it. That is off a 1983 Porsche 928. You can see one of the Adele clamps on it. That is where I am clamping it on to the engine mount. And the wires are already run, so let's test it out. Why, though? I know what you're thinking. What? Are you on crack? No, look, hey, this has several implications. One, it's cool. Two, well, I did it because I can. But 3, there's also safety factor. Oh, it sounds good. Oh, I'm good. Yeah, safety factor. Look, anyone that's flown into an airport in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night knows that you can have deer, cows, bears, any amount of wildlife laying on the runway, and you got to scare them off. That does it. Plus, you can honk at people to get out of your way. And when you pull up to an FBO and the line guys aren't out there to help you, you blast them with the horn. Yes, I know I'm ridiculous. Anyway. I just love it. All right, everyone have a great 4th of July weekend. Thank you for joining me. See you soon.